Guess what time it is? Friday Jams! Well, hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome to the Rock Your Brand Podcast. I'm your host, Scott Voker, a serial entrepreneur on a mission to help you. This show is designed to teach you, to inspire you, to motivate you to take massive action and build a future-proof business. So, whether you're just starting out or taking your existing business to the next level, this is your home. Now, if you're ready, I'm ready. Let's rock your brand. What's up, everyone? Welcome to this Friday Jam session. Super excited you're here. And if you haven't heard me say it before, I'm going to say it right now. This is probably one of the highlights of my week because I get to hang out with some cool people every single Friday and answer some really awesome questions. Now, you might be asking, Scott, how do I get my question answered? Well, all you need to do is become part of our Take Action crew. How do you do that? Very easy. Head on over to takeactioncrew.com. It's totally free, and we do it every single Friday, and it is a blast. So what you're about to listen to is one that we did last week. So this way here, even if you can't attend, you can always show up here to the Rock Your Brand podcast and listen to our live jam session. All right, guys, so sit back, relax, and let's jam. All right, guys, welcome back to another Friday Jam session. Today, we are going to be talking all about this one question and then any other questions that we get in the meantime. But this question is a big one, and I get it a lot, and I see a lot of people getting stuck, and that is, Scott, what do I write and send to my email list? I started building my email list, but I don't know what to write them, or to write to them or to send to them. Or maybe I don't want to send anything yet until I have my product picked or whatever, right? We have all of these excuses why we're not writing. Today, I'm going to give you 5 different things that you can send your email list. It's going to make it so much easier for you. So this is our Friday Jam session. And what that means, if you're brand new to the podcast or to the coffee talks, this is where we answer all of your questions during this time together. That's why it's a Friday Jam session. Get it? Rock Your Brand Podcast Jam session, okay? If you want to be part of our jam sessions and you're not here live right now, then what you need to do is head over to takeactioncrew.com. Again, that's takeactioncrew.com, and then you can become part of our morning crew. It's where we show up Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and today is one of the highlights for me for the week because it's our jam sessions where we get together, hang out. I get to listen and hear your questions. And then from there, I get to answer them live here on this jam session. If you're listening to this on the podcast, obviously it's not live, but you can become part of our live morning crew if you head over to takeactioncrew.com. So make sure you do that if you haven't done so already. All right, so here we go. I'm going to kick this thing off. Again, what do I write and send to my email list? It's kind of like writer's block. Like, what do you do? So number one, okay, is the reason why they signed up to your email list is because of what? Okay, so what is the promise? So we talked about this in the last coffee talk. Okay, so you might want to go back and listen to that one. But we talked about this, and that's your lead magnet. Okay, your lead magnet is what is the thing that they signed up for, right? Now, we also talked about there's some mistakes that people are making, and that is like sign up to my newsletter, right? There's nothing there that's going to make me really want to sign up for a newsletter unless I just want to be on someone else's list, right? What is the lead magnet? What is the specific thing, right? How to play heavy metal guitar faster, right? That would be a lead magnet. Then I would say, okay, I want to learn how to play. Well, they're saying learn how to play heavy metal guitar faster using this simple trick. I want to know what that trick is. So I'm going to enter my name and email address, right? And then I'm going to want to get the thing. So the first email is very simple. It's send your download or what you promised. And actually, your second email could be, hey, I'm checking in. I want to make sure that you received the download. Do you have any questions, right? That would be that next email. So there's 2 emails, right? And if you wanted to, you could even follow up with a third email and say, hey, just checking in. The one part in the download that talks about hand positioning, I want to make sure that you understand what that is. Make sure that you do that exercise. It's so helpful. And here's a link to the download again. So there's 3 emails, right? But so many people think, well, I already sent them one email about the download. Everyone got it. No, not everyone got it, okay? So you need to make sure that you're following up to make sure that the people are actually getting the download, right? So that's number one. Very, very easy to do. No reason that you shouldn't be sending at least 2 emails and sometimes 3 emails just about the thing that they downloaded to make sure that they got it. All right. Now, the second thing, and this goes along with the download, is the second thing to do is ask questions. Whenever you're thinking to yourself, I don't know what to write my email list, and then a week goes by, 2 weeks goes by, 3 weeks goes by. Okay, so number one, you can't let your list go that long because sooner or later they're going to forget about you. And then when you send them something, they're like, who is this person again? Unsubscribe, right? So we don't want that. So you should make it a point to send at least 1 email per week, at least minimum 1 email per week. Okay, minimum. Okay, so you want to ask questions. Okay. And you would ask an open-ended question a lot of times because then you can get that feedback. All right. It's also showing that you're listening. You're like, hey, I'm here. I'm trying to help you. Right. So the question could be something like, are you struggling with guitar? Are you struggling with playing guitar? ? And then inside it could be like, hey, it's Scott. I'm just checking in. I wanted to know, what's your biggest sticking point to playing your guitar? Right. Let me know and I'll do my best to create some training or, a download or something for you, resources to help you further. Let me know. Reply to this email and I'll get back to you. All right. Here's what we're doing. There's 2 things that are happening. Number one, we're letting people know that we're trying to help them. Number 2, we're getting a dialogue back and forth. So if that person emails me back, I'm going to type a message back to that person. So what this also does is it allows your or their mail provider, which is Gmail, Yahoo, whatever that they're using, right? It lets them know that you two are more or less friends. So it's going to also help you on your deliverability. All right. So it's a great way to get content ideas. And now what happens is, let's say that you only get 1 person to reply, just 1 person that replies, right? And they go, I struggle with scales. So you're like, okay, guy's name is John, right? And then I'm going to create a piece of content. Maybe it's a blog post, or maybe it's just an email that says, hey, I just received an email from John. And John wants to know how to play scales easier, than your typical blues scale, whatever, right? I'm making up stuff here on the fly. And if that was the case, then I would say, here is a video of me showing John how to do this. This might help you as well. So what this does is it automatically sets you up as an expert of some kind in your marketplace. So an authority in your site, right? Or in your website. And then it also shows that, oh, wait a minute, this person's pretty cool. They're answering questions. Do that, right? So that's another great thing, is you can get some really good content ideas from asking your email list. All right. So anytime you get stuck yourself, ask them. The email subject line would work really good if you use something like this. I need your help, or help, or can I ask you a quick question? Right? Those are just easy, open-ended. And then inside of it, you'd make it even more open-ended, where you'd say, hey, reply back to me. I want to know, what are you stuck with? What are you having a tough time with? I want to help you. Right? So that's a great way to do it. All right. So number 3, okay. So we talked about number 1, send your download or what you promised and do it multiple times. Number 2, ask questions. What do you need help with? Right? And number 3 is send to your blog or website. Okay. So this is why part of our whole brand building strategy is creating content. A lot of people think it's just to create the piece of content so it gets ranked on Google. That's one piece. The other piece is, every time I create a piece of content, I can also email my list to say, hey, we just posted a piece of content on the blog. Go check it out. Right? So this also helps you know exactly what you should be sending to your email list. Right? And we get direct traffic going over there, which also can help us get ranked quicker, because we're sending a signal to Google that people are actually visiting our site. Right? So that's why we really do talk heavily about content creation. Okay, it goes very, very well in this brand building process. And I probably should mention right now, if you are interested in grabbing our playbook, if you want to see how this all fits together and really maps it out for you, go to brandcreatorsbook.com. If you go to brandcreatorsbook.com, that's our playbook. That's the same playbook we go by. It's the same one we teach inside of our academy. And you could grab a copy right now. It's going to cost you a little less than a cup of coffee, depending on where you buy your coffee. And yes, I love my coffee, as you guys all know. So brandcreatorsbook.com. That is what we follow to a T. Okay. So number 3, like I said, is send people to your blog or your website. Let them know you just posted something. Or here's something we just did actually yesterday in another brand that I've been building now for about 3 years. We send 3 emails a week, by the way. We took an old post that did really well and we just freshened it up a little bit and we brought it back to the surface and I emailed the list about it again. Okay. We got a 17% open rate on the first email in less than 24 hours. And we got get this, over 1,400 clicks on that. So 1,400 people went from our email list over to that blog content, which technically was older content. We just freshened it up. Okay. A lot of people say, well, I already posted that. Everyone's seen it. No, there's new people that are on your list that have never seen it. Right. So there's ways to get creative with your content, but you got to have the content there. Right. So again, that's send to your blog or website. All right. Now, number 4 is if you are using YouTube, send people to YouTube. Send them to your YouTube channel, right? Because if you are creating content and it doesn't reside on your blog or website because you're not doing that yet, which I recommend everyone starts with your website. It's your home base, as we call it, and that's what we use inside of the playbook. But your website would be your main hub. YouTube would just be something on the outside that would point people to your website as well. Whole nother conversation. But YouTube, let's say that you're only building a YouTube channel right now. Drive them over to your YouTube channel. Now, one little tip here for you, if you are doing this, always put your video in a playlist. Then what you want to do is inside the playlist, you're going to take that link and you're going to send people to that link, not just to the video itself. What that will do is it will allow people to consume that piece of content, and then it will automatically play the next thing in the playlist. So this way here, people don't get distracted and click off to someone else's content, like other people's related videos that are near it. So that's one little tip for you guys. If you guys are doing YouTube, always put in a playlist and always link to the playlist. All right. And then that will allow you to get more people to consume the content within your channel. So that's number 4. Number 5, send to your Facebook page or your group. All right. If you have a Facebook page and you just posted something there, send them to that. If you don't have a website yet, post content on your Facebook page, send people there. Whatever you're doing, you're always going to be creating some type of content that is either helping or giving feedback, or maybe it's just ideas. Maybe it is 23 deck ideas for your backyard and you're into the home DIY market. Maybe you're just going to post that on Facebook because you don't want a website yet. I don't recommend that. I do think you should definitely have a blog and a website. But if you don't, you can always just drive them to your Facebook page or your group. Now, if you have a group or a page, the reason why I would say do a page and then a group is because on a page, we can have it shared. If you put it in a group, usually you cannot, at least the time of airing this, you can't share that outside of the group. Okay. So you want to keep the Facebook page always live, and you're also going to run ads through that and all of that stuff. But that will allow that to be shared. So if your goal here is to try to get that post to go viral, then you would send your list over to that post inside of your Facebook fan page, and then it could be shared. So that's just another thing that you can do. All right. Now, one thing I have here that I noted for myself to remind you is always make sure that you make the email about them and not about you. Now, that doesn't mean that you can't share your story, but your story needs to be them envisioning themselves at a place where you are, right? So if I'm talking about, okay, I'm here right now. Here's a perfect example. I'm here right now in Virginia. I'm hanging out with my daughter, my son-in-law, and my wife and my other daughter, right? We're hanging out. It's family time. I'm basically going to just drop a little bit in the beginning of the email to let people know where I am, what I'm doing, but then I'm immediately going to roll that into something that will turn into a lesson of some kind. Now, what I've done there is I've also shown people that, okay, Scott is a family guy. Scott is all about being able to have a remote business because that allows him to be with his family during these certain times, right? And then you're thinking to yourself, man, I would love to be able to just pick up my laptop and go like Scott